Hey boys and girls, welcome back. We're here to talk about the most recent episode of Being Mary Jane, season 4, episode 4. I think tonight's episode, I would dare say it's the best of the season so far. I've been reading the comments and the feedback about the show this season, and a lot of people are saying it feels different. They don't like the pace. Mary Jane is erratic. I would like to point out that she has always been erratic. That is nothing new. But I feel like it took a few episodes for them to get their footing, because you've got this character who's always been in Atlanta. She's always been surrounded by her family. She's had the same job the entire time we've known her. And this season, it's like, bam, they want to do everything new. We're going to move her to New York. We're going to put her in a much bigger market. We're going to put her in the #1 market for broadcasters, on the #1 show in the nation. That took some adjusting, and I think you see that in some of Mary Jane's actions. Like, she has been extra spazzy and extra erratic and extra desperate, which were all characteristics that she had prior, but they're just on OD. I think one of the things that was missing from the show, and one of the reasons that I've always tuned in despite, my mixed feelings about Pauletta, is I love like the commentary and the conversations that would come out of the show. I loved when Mary Jane and her groups of friends would get together and talk about whatever issue was on the table. This episode, it all gelled for me. Kara seems to have a friends with benefits, so all the focus isn't on Being Mary Jane and her relationship anymore, which really isn't that strong to me, but I'll get into that in a second. And then we're talking about other stuff that comes up in pop culture. So metrosexuality, and we're talking about men who are more gender bending, who like to wear women's clothes. We're talking about respectability politics. We've got Justin and Rhonda. They call Mary Jane into the office and they want to talk about the things that she's covering on the show. And I think this episode did a really great job of introducing other aspects of the world other than dating and relationships into the show. So where do I begin? Mary Jane's doing much better at work. Despite her demotion to being the web correspondent, she's making it work for her. Her boss is like, no, we're not putting this on the air. And she strategizes a way to get back on the air. One thing I won't do, though, is go up to your house and stand in your yard and tell you how to raise your kid. Like, that was a lot, but that's Mary Jane. She gets inappropriate sometimes, and that's part of the reason that we like her, and part of the reason we're just like, girl, what are you doing? But she did that, and it worked in her favor. In this episode, she finally hits her stride. She's getting the hits on the website for the show. She got like 4 million hits, so the girl's going viral. She's going after juicier stories. She's not just going for salacious like she did last week with Mercedes. She sees this viral video of a kid getting, beat up by his dad outside his school, and she tracks the kid down, and he had something to say, and I think it was a really great commentary on men who like to wear women's clothes. Personally, I wouldn't like my man to wear women's clothes, but if you are a man in the world and you want to wear women's clothes, like, God bless you. I don't have time for that, to be policing other people's wardrobes. I'm thinking about my own clothes. Let's see, what else is she doing? Oh, so the head producer, Garrett, has Mary Jane and Justin working together, and I thought it was so funny when Mary Jane was like, oh, you're getting a kick out of this, like you like being here torturing me, and Justin was like, ma'am, I did not come to New York to be a web correspondent producer. Like, let me be clear with you about who I am and what I'm aiming to do. This is no prize for either one of us. And speaking of Justin, like, so I'm complete fandom for Justin because I'm complete fandom for Michael Ealy. Like, I can't separate the two. It is what it is. But I did give him the side eye when Kara ran up on him and was like, you need to watch out for Mary Jane and she's special and blah, blah, blah. And then he threw it in her face that, oh, you're a single mom where the game is rigged and I'm always going to be better than you. It's true. It's absolutely true what he said, but I hate that he weaponized the idea, that he was just sort of like, it is what it is. Here's my male privilege on full display and watch me use it. Bam. Like, usually I agree with Justin on a lot of his random commentaries about Mary Jane and such, but I just thought that was such an ugly moment. And I also didn't like when he brought Mary Jane into the office to talk about the dad who was beating the kid. And Justin fell on the, you got to let people discipline your kids because as a black kid, you can't be walking around like that. Then Rhonda chimes in about the optics of the situation. She's like, a lot of black kids, black boys watch this show. They don't have male figures in their lives, strong male figures, fathers in their lives. And, we have a responsibility to show positive images. And that's a conflict that comes up a lot in journalism world about what, as black journalists, what is our role? Do we only talk about positive images of blackness or the black community, in the sense act as publicists for respectable blackness? Or should we talk about the breadth of blackness, which is really awesome, amazing, historical, and grand, but also can be very like dark and delirious and crafty and contradictory and hypocritical? That's the word I'm looking for. So as journalists, like, what is your role there? So that's something I thought about a lot when Mary Jane was sitting in the office. What else Mary Jane and PJ, I don't get that situation. Last week she's banging on the door to see if he has someone in the house, and then this week she's like, oh, I have to meet this woman who's backing you. And I understand meeting her just because you want to meet her, but like meeting her to check her out and see if she's okay, and if PJ, what he says about the relationship is really up and up. Like, what if it isn't? Like, who cares? And then she's mad that the woman bought PJ like a Rolex. And I'm like, it's her money. She wanted to buy him a Rolex. Like, if he's tricking, at least he's tricking for appreciating assets. Like, and to be clear, I don't believe in tricking. I just think if you're going to do it, if you're going to be the trickee, the receiver of the trick, then you should go after appreciating assets. I mean, that's just mine. What else happened this episode? So even though like I'm annoyed with Justin for how he spoke to Kara and that little back and forth, I still ride for him. And not just because he's Michael Ealy. Like the beginning of the episode, everyone in the office is enamored with Justin. And I'm like, yes, y'all see what I see. Everyone sees it except Mary Jane and Kara. And then they're like, oh, I bet he has like a white girlfriend. And like he showed up with a beautiful chocolate chick. Now what? He and his black boo went to the basketball game, date night. What else happened? Lee, I just can't get into this relationship, but at the same time, Lee seems like an okay guy. Despite the pop-ups, even though he's dealing with Mary Jane's crazy, I will admit that she was less crazy this episode than any other episode this season. So he's working for her in that sense. So maybe she's in a steady relationship, so she's calmed down, or maybe he's providing good D, and so she's simmered down some. But whatever her and Lee seem to be doing, it seems to be working for her. So I'm not going to complain about Lee anymore. I will complain a little bit though about how MJ treats him. Like, he's British. He likes tea. He likes to cross his legs. He's got some Scottish ancestry, so he wears a kilt. And Mary Jane was just going overboard. And then she goes to complain to Kara he doesn't have any swag. And I'm like, ma'am, you've had swag in the past. Like Omari from first season, your married man who had 2 kids at home with the wife that you stalked for a minute. He had swag. That didn't work out for you. David, the one who had sex with was getting head from your best friend from childhood, he had swag. That didn't work out for you. Sheldon, or is it Shelton? I never remember that man's name. But he had swag, but he didn't believe in marriage, didn't want to live in the same apartment with you, and didn't want to have an orgasm. Like, he wanted to just have the sex and never actually bust a nut. Like, he was a strange one. But he had swag, and he required a fundamental shift. Like, swag's not working for you. But I like that she tried it. And Kara was like, you create imaginary problems. Like, Kara was like, I'm not here for this. I'm shutting you down. I'm not entertaining your nonsense just today. Lee he's got some cornball to him, despite being a comedian. He's got some cornball, but it's working. It's actually working well for her. He seems dedicated, and we do know that he is not married. He does not have anyone pregnant. He's not slept with any of her close childhood friends. He's committing to her, and he deals with your crazy really well. Like that last episode when she kicked him out, I'm like, man, what are you doing? You're being delirious. What are you doing? But there she was nonetheless, and Lee showed back up, which could mean he's crazy too. Kara and Orlando. I think Orlando's adorable, and I think he's actually really into Kara, even though Kara is completely just using him to get in good at the office. Here's my question. Has anyone ever had a conversation with a guy about how he needs to step up his sex game? When I give advice, people write into me about like, how do I tell him I want him to do, better things in bed? And Kara, what she did with Orlando is exactly what I tell people to do. Be specific about exactly what you want. Give instructions. Pay lots of compliments. Like, you don't want to damage the ego. You want to say like Kara did, it's good, but it could be greater. Oh, but you're just so strong, but you're strong in everything. Like, here's where I want you to be soft. Here, I'm gonna take your hand and I'm gonna show you what I want you to do. I'm gonna pace it out. That's exactly what I would tell people to do, to talk to their mates about improving their sex life. But I feel like men's egos it just doesn't go over as well as Orlando's. But Kara's not into him. When he came over, like after, cause she sprained the man's neck while he was giving her head. Like this show will give you some moments that you never expected. Like last week, and then this week, you sprained a man's neck with your diesel thighs. I think we've covered everything. So let me know in the comments what you think. Tell me about what you think, like your solutions for telling a guy how to step up his sex game. Oh, the respectability politics. I want to know what you think about that. And what do you think about the men in skirts? Like, does it bother you? Are you offended by it? Or are you just like, let the men in skirts be? Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a little subscribe if you like what you watched. And if you don't, just stay out the comments. Don't say anything. If you hate it, I don't want to know about it. Keep that to yourself. All right. See you next week.